Hello everyone, I'm Dragons After Dark, and today we're continuing our pet collecting around Azeroth and Beyond series with Silithus. I was going to do Ungoro as well, but with the addition of Visions and a vendor in Battle for Azeroth, I figured that would be enough pets for one video. Anywho, we're doing this 100% by zone, which will cover everything from wild pets to achievements, dungeons, quests, rare drops, and so on. During the video, we'll be going over the locations of the pet, different skins, and suggested breeds. Keep in mind, for the breeds, it's purely a suggestion on my part, but I will be giving a short explanation on why I'd choose that particular breed. Overall, most pets are filler, so the breed isn't super important. You can always go back and catch another if you find you need a different one, so don't stress too much about it. Also, I will mention if a pet is cageable, so if you don't want to farm for it, you can just stop by your local auction house and grab one. So let's get started. According to Wowhead, Silithus used to be the seat of the Akiri insect empire and has colossal structures and underground insect lairs. The Night Elves sealed the Silithids in Azj-Karat during the War of the Shifting Sands to prevent further invasions. In current times, Silithus is home to the Sword of Sargeras, which the Order Champions of Legion drained of its power to help save Azeroth by using their artifact weapons. The wild pets of Silithus are the Beetle, Desert Spider, Karaji Guardling, Rock Viper, Scarab Hatchling, Scorpid, Sidewinder, and Spiky Lizard. The Beetle comes in 4 skins, Gray and Red, Gold, Red and Gray, and Brown and Dark Brown, and 4 breeds. As with most beetles, what breed you want will depend on what you're trying to do with it. For Apocalypse, you'll want something with more health to make sure it survives to have the ability land, so you'd want an HH breed. If you want to use just about anything else, you'll want either a fast breed with the HS or power with the HP. Being faster means you'll get a bonus hit for flank, leaving your enemy with 2 rounds of shattered defenses instead of 1 from swarm, and enable you to use survival at the best time for the battle. If you're not faster, you can swap out survival for hiss to make sure you get the speed you need. The Desert Spider comes in 2 skins, brown with green eyes and beige with blue eyes, and 4 breeds. It has the typical spider moveset that you'll see across quite a few pets. In general, I'd say speed would be your best bet with the SS breed. That way you can be sure to set up either of the webs and use Spiderling Swarm. However, any breed will likely be fine since this pet is not used very often. The Karaji Guardling comes in 1 skin and 10 breeds. This pet is one of the few conditional spawn pets that Blizzard created, and you'll only find this pet during summer. Because the solstices can vary by day depending on the year, it might be June 21st or 22nd when the pet begins spawning, and around September 22nd or 23rd when it stops and autumn begins. The most common breed sought out for this pet will be the SS breed. Because the Guardling has a stun with Blackout Kick, you'll want the 325 speed this breed has to make the most out of it. You can think of this pet as a less powerful, much faster Anubisath idol in a way, since the first ability slots most people use for it are Crush and Sandstorm. The Rock Viper comes in 2 skins, black and blue, and 2 breeds. This pet has a typical snake moveset, however it doesn't have fantastic power stats to effectively use Counter-Strike or get a really good build from Vicious Fang, so mostly you'd use it with Burrow and Bite, and maybe to set up Hiss's speed reduction for the next pet. That said, I'd go with the SS for those reasons, but either breed is fine. The Scarab Hatchling comes in 4 skins, purple with purple and teal markings, green with brown and red markings, blue with orange and teal markings, brown with beige and yellow markings, and 4 breeds. As with most beetles, what breed you want will depend on what you're trying to do with it. For Apocalypse, you'll want something with more health to make sure it survives to have the ability land, so you'd want an HH breed. If you want to use just about anything else, you'll want either a fast breed with the HS or power with the PP. Being faster means you'll get a bonus hit for flank, leave your enemy with 2 rounds of shattered defenses instead of 1 from swarm, and enable you to use survival at the best time for the battle. If you're not faster, you can swap out survival for hiss to make sure you get the speed you need. The Scorpid comes in 4 skins: beige with black markings and teal belly, black with red markings and dark orange belly, yellow with black markings and a red-brown belly, and red with black markings and purple belly, and 2 breeds. Of the 2 breeds, I'd go for the Power Speed breed. This will give you a slight edge over the Balance breed on both speed and power, meaning you can use Screech to become faster, then use Snap and Rampage to cut through critters. The Sidewinder comes in 2 skins: light brown with dark brown stripes and light yellow with black stripes, and 3 breeds. Since the power and health stats don't vary too widely for this pet, you'll likely want to grab an SS. This will give you 341 speed, and if you need any more than that, you can always slot Hiss. Since you won't have much power or be slower for Counter-Strike or to get a good Vicious Fang build, this is either a filler pet or something to throw at critters with Bite and Burrow. The Spiky Lizard comes in 1 skin, brick red with yellow stripes and crimson spikes, and 3 breeds. Since the power and health stats don't vary too widely for this pet, you'll likely want to grab an SS. This will give you 341 speed, and if you need any more than that, you can always slot Screech. This will allow you to use Comeback or Ravage at times that will benefit your pet the most. Added in patch 8.3 during Battle for Azeroth, horrific visions are scenarios where you'll be transported to corrupted versions of Stormwind and Orgrimmar. In the visions, you'll complete objectives to keep it from becoming a reality. After completing the vision, you'll receive rewards depending on how many objectives you completed, and pet rewards will come from differing sources. To enter the horrific visions, you'll need a vessel of horrific visions, and to remain in for any significant period of time, you'll need an Ashraka's Shroud of Resolve. I'll link the Wowhead's guide to horrific visions in the description. If you're not looking to run the visions, all the pets from them are cageable. Anomalous comes in 1 skin and 1 breed. It drops from both horrific visions from Thrall's and Alaria's corrupted chests. According to Wowhead, it has a 7% chance to drop from Alaria's chest and 6% from Thrall's. Anomalous is a high utility pet and is used in a lot of strategies on Zufus. Cthulhu comes in 1 skin and 1 breed. It drops from Orgrimmar's vision from Rexar's corrupted chest. According to Wowhead, it has a 12% drop rate. This is not a high utility pet since it's not used in many strategies. Despite being an SS breed, this pet is not speedy, and it's not powerful either, which wastes the potential of Horn Attack to stun. It has some hefty health, but you still have to count on surviving a round to make your attack, which is likely why it's not used as much. The Void Scarred Cat comes in 1 skin and 1 breed. It drops from Stormwind's vision from Alaria's corrupted chest. According to Wowhead, it has an 8% drop rate. This pet is marked as having medium utility on Zufus for PvE, likely for teams with flyers because of Void Cyclone and Void Slap. It also comes up in a few clone dance strategies in PvP. It has a good power stat, just above average health, and fairly abysmal speed. The Void Scarred Hare comes in 1 skin and 1 breed. It drops from Stormwind's vision from Umbric's corrupted chest. According to Wowhead, it has a 13% drop rate. This bunny is outside the norm in the fact that it's not speedy, but has a massive power stat at 347, though it's not used in many strats outside of family-based ones. What's nice about this vision pet is that you can increase your speed with Powerball. However, the one ability it has that could pack a consistent, enormous punch is Spirit Claws, which needs Moonlight to hit 100% of the time. Like most pets with Spirit Claws, it does not also have Moonlight, so it'll need to be paired up with another pet to use it. The Void Scarred Pup comes in one skin and one breed. It drops from Orgrimmar's Vision from Thrall's Corrupted Chest. According to Wowhead, it has an 8% drop rate. It's not used in more than a handful of strategies, likely due to its low health. It does have an okay speed stat and a decent power stat, especially since it can use Maul or Vengeance, but to maximize those abilities there's an investment in either another pet for bleed or timing Vengeance with a big hit from the enemy. The Void Scarred Rat comes in one skin and one breed. It drops from Stormwind's Vision from Kelsey's Corrupted Chest. According to Wowhead, it has a 6% drop rate. It's really only used for a few family-based strategies and not much else. It has a nice power stat and pretty average speed and health. The one thing I like about this particular rat is that it has Creepy Chomp, which has a static damage amount instead of a variant one, and it hits pretty decent at 345 power even against non-humanoid and non-aquatic enemies. The Void Scarred Toad comes in one skin and one breed. It drops from Orgrimmar's Vision from Zakan's Corrupted Chest. According to Wowhead, it has a 5% drop rate. It's not really used in any strategies, and its stats are very middle of the road. Also, most of its abilities can be found on better pets in its family or substituted for something better. Magni Bronzebeard as a reputation vendor can be found just outside of the Chamber of the Heart in the current version of Silithus. He sells us 2 pets, both of which will cost you polished pet charms. However, if you don't want to grind reputation, both of these pets are cageable and may show up on your realm's auction house. To purchase the Azerite Puddle, you will need to be revered with the Champions of Azeroth faction, and it will cost you 200 polished pet charms. Its utility is listed as medium, and personally I really like this little iridescent ooze. It has a nice power stat, and though its health is pretty average, it's a magic type, which means it won't take more than 35% of its health in a single hit. The speed stat is almost made negligible by the fact it has Foreboding Curse, which reduces the enemy's speed and adds damage to each of your attacks. Its Azerite Spike ability also packs a big hit, and even though Slime has a 1-round cooldown, combined with Foreboding Curse, you can chunk down the enemy HP. Azerite will also require Revered with the Champions of Azeroth, but will only cost you 100 polished pet charms. However, with the lower cost also comes lower utility. It's not used in many strats, likely because it's slow and not very powerful. Mostly it's used in a few niche ones, and if I was going to use it, it'd be against mechanical pets, with Crystal Overload followed by Azerite Spike, then alternate between Crystal Overload and Stone Shot. Because it has a high amount of health, you're a little safer using Crystal Overload on cooldown, especially if the enemy is dealing mechanical damage. That said, the coloring for its model is very pretty with the Azerite theme. There are a couple of zone drop pets for Silithus, one older and one newer that was introduced in Battle for Azeroth. If you don't want to farm for these pets yourself, they are both cageable and can be found on the auction house. The Disgusting Oozling is technically a world drop on Azeroth that has a chance to drop from the oozing bag, which in turn drops off oozes, slimes, and worms. According to Warcraft Pets, the bag drop is about 1 in 25, whereas the pet drop chance from the bag is 1 in 85. For Silithus, you'll want to farm the Dredge Crushers, Dredge Strikers, and Grub Thrower, as they have the best chances to drop the bag. It has a typical slime moveset, which makes it medium utility on Zufus, though again, it's interchangeable with other slimes that are easier to obtain. It has quite a bit of health, but not much speed and okay power. The Silithid mini-tank drops from 3 rares in the current phase of Silithus, and I'm not going to try and pronounce their names. The first one has the highest drop rate with 16%, the second one with 13%, and the third with 11%. It has medium utility on Zufus, likely because it has OK power combined with a flat damage modifier with exposed wounds. And in another slot you have Swarm. Think of this combo as a less powerful Black Claw and Flock. According to Wowhead, the Temple of Ank'Harai is a 40-man raid dungeon located in southwestern Silithus. It was released during a massive world event called the Gates of Ank'Harai, in which players rang a gong to receive a legendary Silithid mount. There are 3 pets that drop from this raid, which also count toward a raiding with leashes pet collecting achievement. These pets all come in 1 breed and 1 skin. If you're not looking to farm this raid, you can check your local auction house since all of these pets are cageable. The Anubisath idol is one of the OG pets for pet battling, so it comes up in a lot of strategies, especially ones geared toward people who are new and or with limited rosters. This pet is the definition of slow and steady wins the race, since it definitely does not win very fast. Typically, you're going to use Sandstorm, which provides flat damage mitigation, allowing the Anubisath to really take advantage of the passive healing for humanoids at the end of each round. However, if you're leaning more toward damage mitigation as opposed to the big hit from Sandstorm, try out Stone Skin for your strategy instead. Stone Skin will also give you flat damage mitigation and does not have the RNG of Sandstorm's 10% debuff to your hit chance. As for the last slot, you'll generally see Deflection used to avoid big hits and Crush used in slot 1. If you don't already have this pet in your roster, I highly recommend it, or the Voidscarred Anubisath, since you'll see it pop up in quite a lot of strategies. The Anubisath idol has roughly a 10% drop rate from the Twin Emperors. Again, because it's one of the OG pets, it's marked as having high utility, but as our rosters have expanded, the Mini Mindslayer has been used in fewer strategies. At this point, it's mostly used for its life exchange ability. This ability pairs really well with legendary type enemies and the fact that the Mini Mindslayer is a magic pet, meaning they can't take more than 35% in a single hit, making it perfect for timing when to use life exchange as long as you know what abilities the enemy is using. Outside of that, its other abilities are a bit throwaway because of their cooldowns, but usually people will use either of the slot 2 abilities for a damage boost plus Mana Surge in slot 1. It's a PS breed, so its health is average while it gets a small bump to power and speed. The item that teaches the Mini Mindslayer is the Jewel of Maddening Whispers, and according to Wowhead, it has a 20% drop rate from the Prophet Skaram. Viscidus Globule is a pet that drops from the unique boss, Viscidus. According to Wowhead, Viscidus is an optional boss in the Temple of Ank'Harai and is a giant slime that can be accessed after the death of Fancris the Unyielding. While no strategy is needed anymore, he is still only susceptible to frost damage, thus he is unable to be killed without someone in the group being able to do frost damage. If you go to the comments section on this boss, you'll find other players' strategies on how they defeated this boss on characters that don't traditionally have frost damage. It has a 28% or about 1 in 4 drop chance. While you can set it to have a somewhat typical ooze move set, none of the other oozes quite have the same abilities. It can be a great dot pet if you stack Acid Touch, Poison Spit, and Creeping Ooze. However, because of the specialized nature of the boss, it isn't used in many strategies on Zufus. Though it isn't directly connected to Silithus, 3 of the 12 pets needed for the very first Raiding with Leashes achievement can be found in this zone. Once you get all 12 pets, you will be rewarded with Mr. Bigglesworth. Pets will count toward the achievement whether they are looted by you or purchased off the auction house. And that's it. We've completed our visit to Silithus for pet collecting around Azeroth and beyond. On our next stop, we'll be visiting the Ungoro Crater and Tanaris. Perhaps Uldum, depending on the number of pets in the other 2 zones when I start writing the script. If you have any questions or suggestions, let me know in the comments below. Until next time, I wish you all the best of luck. Thank you for stopping by, and happy battling!